tell, do you see the road? I'm out to my soul into the sides whenever the smoke clear out of my face and my picture perfect.
Hello and welcome back, fellow anime lovers, to Cypherfics. I am delighted to have you join us once again in the world of fanfiction and fantasy. This is the 7th part of, What If Dannyphantom Meets Helltaker? Special note, this fanfic is written and a masterpiece of Phantom Fan 21 on FANFICTIONnet. Do check and support the author too. Now smash the like, share and subscribe button for more. Also press the bell icon so that you never miss such great parts. Thanks for the introduction. Now let's dive into the world. Jazz sighs as she notices the apartment where the demon girls, plus one angel girl, were staying. Something had come up, and Danny wasn't able to visit the girls today. He also lost his cell phone and asked Jazz to let the girls know he wasn't going to make it today. With a sigh, Jazz walks up and knocks on the door. She heard the familiar barks and saw Cerberus open the door. "Jazz?" they asked, shocked to see her. Jazz tries to relax as she knew Cerberus wouldn't hurt her, but she still remembers how they all can't feel something at the same time. Danny did warn her that Cerberus must feel something to only one of them or it can turn out really messy. "Hi, Cerberus. Can you get the others? I need to let you all know why I'm here," she said. Cerberus nods and lets Jazz in. After a few minutes, all the girls stood in the living room, surprised to see Jazz. Zdrada couldn't help but tease her a little. "Hey, girlfriend. What's shaking, honey bun?" She smirks. Jazz groans before clearing her throat. "I came to inform you all that Danny has been called away. I don't know where, but he's not able to visit you all today. And he lost his cell phone," Jazz said. The girls were surprised, but they understood. After all, Danny did tell them there would be times he wouldn't be able to visit them. "Thank you for letting us know. Just let him know he has a day to make up for this," Lucifer said. Jazz could only nod. She was about to leave when Zdrada stops her. "Whoa there. What's the hurry?" she asked. "I just came to tell you guys about Danny. I don't see a reason to stay here," Jazz said. "Heh, is that so? How about you stay here?" she said. "Huh?" Jazz asked. "With Danny busy, who better to visit than you? Besides, it would fun. I finally get you in a bed." Zdrada smirks. "What?" Jazz shouted before Lucifer shakes her head. "Enough. Jazz, you're welcome to stay here for a while," she said. "Great. How about we head to my room?" Zdrada smirks. Lucifer reaches over and grabs Jazz before pulling her away. "I need her in the kitchen," she said, pulling Jazz away before anyone could say anything. Once it was clear, Lucifer had Jazz sit on the table and gave her a plate of pancakes. Jazz looks confused before Lucifer sat down with her plate. Lucifer?" Jazz asked, confused. "I know you're having a hard time hanging around us because most of us are demons. Since Danny is busy, I thought maybe you should try to know us some more," Lucifer said, taking a bite of her pancake. Jazz looked surprised at that. It was true that she spends more of her time with Zdrada, but not the others. Except for Pandamonica, but they only spoke once. Jazz cut a piece of her pancake off and took a bite. It was good, and took another bite. "Good," she eating it. "Now, to see if I can get her to understand why I'm doing this," Lucifer thought. "Jasmine," Lucifer said, making her look up. "I know you're worried about your brother, even when he's around us. However, I want you to understand something," she said. "What?" Jazz asked. "Your brother is different than most mortals I have seen. I normally despise heroics and good things, however, when he was trapped in hell, I began to hear about his efforts helping the others. I started to see something in him. Something that I couldn't ignore. At first, I didn't understand why he would go out of his way to help demons, but I now know why. He doesn't see us as demons, but as actually girls. He saw us as people. Lucifer said. Well, Danny does try to see people for who they are. He does try to be careful. I mean, you're Lucifer. The devil. The former right hand of God. You tricked the first man and woman. You have been trying to turn the rest of mankind against God. Kind of hard to be calm around you when you know about those things. Jazz pointed out. I haven't been the best person to start a relationship with, Lucifer admitted. Mom and Dad are scared of you and so am I. Jazz said. That surprised Lucifer. Jazz was scared of her. Lucifer, I might have spent time with Starda a lot. I get annoyed with her continuous teasing, but I can find some solid connection with her because we are both older sisters. I might have spoken to Pandemonica only once, but I can tell she's smart. Azazel is a little easier because she's an angel. I don't mean any disrespect, but it's a little easier to trust an angel than a devil. Jazz said. Lucifer couldn't really blame Jazz for saying that. After all, demons are known to be troublemakers and cause problems for humans. She could tell that Jazz was trying, but she was scared of her. Alright. How about I prove I can be trusted with Danny? She said. Prove? Jazz asked, confused. You only know me through those things you said. However, I do recall an old saying you humans came up with. Never judge a book by its cover. So, after I clean up here, I'm going to show you the real me. And don't worry. I won't turn you into a demon. Lucifer said. Jazz wasn't sure if that was a good idea. But Danny took a chance. A risky one, but he did learn more about the girls than he thought. So, she decides she should too. Alright. She said. Jazz waited for Lucifer as Strada stood next to her. So, old mean queen is spending time with you, huh? She asked. Lucifer wants me to see her real self. Something more than the things she is known for. Jazz told her. Oh. I guess she's trying to win some what was it called again? Oh yeah. Brownie points with you. Strada said. Jazz raises an eyebrow. Due to her title, Jazz was having hard time telling if Strada was serious or not. Heck, everyone in town was scared of the girls. Since they were under a deal with Danny, they didn't have to worry about too much trouble from them. Azazel was more liked due to being an angel, like she pointed out before, but some were afraid that she would become a demon as well. Strada, enough. Jazz looks up and saw Lucifer in her suit, but her black jacket was removed, and she had her hair in a bun. She also had her crown off. If it wasn't for the horns and tail, she could have passed off as a normal human. Just voice my thoughts. Freedom of speech, you know. Strada said. Lucifer could only sigh as she faces Jazz. Let's go. She said. Jazz nods as she follows Lucifer out of the apartment. They walk down the street, hoping to find something to do. Jazz notices a few people looking at them, and a few of them started to whisper among themselves. Don't listen to them. Jazz turns to Lucifer, surprised. I'm not going to stop you or Danny from going to heaven. I normally would, but he's not fit for hell anyways. He too nice. Lucifer said. But isn't Judgement nice too? Jazz asked. She's different than most demons, Lucifer admitted. However, Judgement does know when to be nice and when to be the demon she needs to be. She might be a fallen, like me, but most demons like her kindness. She added. What about justice? Danny told me you two are friends, and most demons don't get along. Jazz asked. When I first started out as the ruler of hell, I didn't have a lot of control over it. I wasn't feared as you might think. I barely had control over the weaker demons. So one day, I went out, searching for a demon that would help me. It took me 5 years to find justice. When I saw her and how she would stick up for herself, I knew she was the demon I was looking for. I thought I could use her, but as we spend time together, I found myself liking her more and more. After a time, I have come to call her my friend and someone I can trust. Lucifer said. Jazz was a bit surprised at that. She didn't know that Lucifer had a tough time control hell. And getting to know justice had caused her to find a friend. Maybe Jazz should try to be her friend. So, what do you want to do? She asked, nervously. Lucifer raised an eyebrow but started to think. She knew Jazz was different than her brother. While Jazz was more book smart, there had to be something that they both like. Want to hit the movies? I promise no BLD and gore stuff. She said. Sure, got anything in mind? Jazz asked. Lucifer shrugs and they head there anyways. Later. Both girls exited from the movies as they couldn't stop laughing at a comedy movie. Where do you people come up with those things? That's the most funniest thing I've ever seen. Lucifer asked. I don't know. But, oh my god. That main character was so dumb. Jazz laughs. Tell me about. My favorite part is when he tries to grab a dumbbell, but ends up getting a pillow. I mean, who does that? Lucifer laughs. Oh, but not as funny as the main villain throwing a fit when the main character made no sense. Jazz added. Oh, yeah. I'm going to take your mouth, flush it down the toilet until it comes out of your ass. Lucifer mimic. Oh. How about then he tries to save the girl, he ends up missing and getting his head stuck in the wall. Jazz asked. They laugh as people look at them strangely. Finally, the two stop laughing to catch their breath. So, what's next? Jazz asked. Lucifer checks the time and saw it was close to noon. How about some lunch? She asked Jazz. Jazz nods and the two head for a nearby restaurant. Which turned out to be the Nasty Burger. They both order their food and sat down at a table. You know, Lucifer. This is nice. Jazz said. Lucifer looks up and could sense that Jazz was started to be more at ease with her, but there was still some fear in her. Well, got to start somewhere, Lucifer said. I know. It might be some time before I fully get over being scared of you, but, Jazz started. Jazz, it's fine. I've been around for a long time. I'm fully aware that not everyone warms up to a new person so fast. But know this. Both you and Danny are staying off the hell list. You are two people that deserve to live a life and go to heaven. Lucifer said. Jazz looks at Lucifer, surprised, but she could see something in her eyes. Lucifer, you don't want us to go to heaven, do you? She asked. Lucifer sighs and knew she was caught. No, I don't. If your brother goes to heaven, then I'll never see him again. I want him to stay with me. Maybe have you come along to help him keep himself sane? He nearly killed Zdrada the last time he was there. Lucifer said. I heard about that. Jazz said, remembering Zdrada telling her that during their date. But I know my father won't let me. I found a mortal I actually like, and I'm going to lose him to my father. Lucifer sighs. Jazz never thought she would feel sorry for the devil. It was clear that Lucifer was more than a devil. She reaches over and places her hand on Lucifer's. Lucifer, you have to understand that we are different. Danny, well, he's a smart person. It might not show it a lot, but he does have the same brains I do. Even if he goes to heaven, and he has gotten a chance to know you some more, then there will be nothing stopping him from coming to see you and the girls. Our family is pretty stubborn. Jazz said. Heh, I know that. Lucifer smiles, seeing Danny's stubborn side a few times. Jazz smiles and removes her hand. She picks up her burger and was about to take a bite. Sometimes, I wonder if I could be more than the devil. Jazz looks surprised to hear those words. What do you mean? She asked. Lucifer sighs and sits back in her chair. Before I was the devil, I was an angel. I did actually care about others. I wanted to stand by my father's side and help him. But I was going a little bored and decided to play a harmless prank. I didn't think the woman would actually eat the fruit from the tree. I lost everything from that small prank. I decide if my father is going to punish me for a small prank, then I would show him that I can be as good as him. Then I meet Danny. I heard of his feats, and how he treated others as people. I love him. He turned my once black heart red again. But I can sense it. He's scared of me. And he still is. Even after standing up to me. She said. Jazz was shocked. She could tell Lucifer wasn't lying. She really does love her brother. Can't you make yourself human? Jazz asked. Lucifer had to think about that. She does have some limits of transformations. Making herself a human wasn't that hard. She was about to answer Jazz when her cell went off. Yes. She said, answering her phone. Hey, Lucifer, I need to talk to you. Danny's voice said. Oh. What for? She asked. Let's just say, I'm having a air goat problem. He said, confusing her. Danny sighs as he returns from the ghost zone. It turns about that the observants were started to grow fearful of what would happen if the girls stay in the human realm too long. Danny had to ensure them that the girls were under a deal with him. They couldn't do anything without his permission, and they had been doing a fine job so far. He even told them that he was still going to heaven even after being around 9 demons. It took him almost 6 hours to get the observants to calm down and leave the girls be. He knew he misses a lot of time with the girls and had to make it up to them. He was walking down the street when a red limbo suddenly pulls up next to him. The window rolls down, and Danny saw another girl with black horns. Excuse me. I'm sorry to trouble you, but I need your help. She said. Sure, Danny said, a bit confused. I'm looking for Lucifer. I heard she's staying in this town. The girl said. You know Lucifer? Danny asked. Yes. She is my queen after all. The girl said. Huh, another demon. Well, I might as well. Danny thought. I'm on my way to see her and the others right now. He said. Oh. Then hop in. We can both reach her together. The girl said as she opens the door. Danny could see she was wearing a red jacket, black pants, and long boots. Her white hair reaches down her back, stopping where he thought he'll see her tail. She was even wearing a black hat. Sure. Thanks. He said. Danny got in and sat down. Wow, these seats feel nice and soft. He said, bouncing a bit on them. I take it this the first time you've been in a limbo? The girl asked. Yeah. Oh, I'm Danny. Danny said, holding out his hand. My name is Baphomet. She said, shaking it. Wait, Baphomet? The demon that known to have a goat FTSH? That Baphomet? Danny asked. That's me. I'm surprised you have heard hear of me. She laughs before recalling something else. Wait, Danny. You're the human that was sent to hell and was allowed to leave with your free will. She said. After helping each of the girls with their problems. And winning the heart of Lucifer, which I'm still having a hard time believing. Danny said, rubbing the back of his head. Oh. You're the one that everyone is talking about. When it's not about the things you did in hell, it's about how Lucifer is planning on making you her king. Baphomet said. Danny didn't know that. But Lucifer did tell him that she wanted to take her time with him. She has held up to her side of the deal after all. He looks down and saw a stone on the floor. Baphomet? I think you dropped something. Danny said, reaching down to pick it up. He was suddenly covered in smoke and coughs. When it faded away, he notices Baphomet looks very different. She has a lovesick look on her face, and her tongue was hanging out. Some of her hair had cleared off her forehead, showing a red star on it. Confused, Danny looks at the window to see something else looking back at him. He was clearly still human, but he had some features of a goat. Oh, a black goat. That's a jackpot. Baphomet said, leading on Danny. Danny looks a bit worried and reaches for his phone. He then types in Lucifer's number and soon got an answer. Yes. Hey, Lucifer, I need to talk to you, Danny said, trying to get Baphomet to calm down. Oh. What for? Let's just say, I'm having a air goat problem, Danny said. May I see your ding-dong? Baphomet asked. Later. Lucifer and Jazz both returned to the apartment and saw the girls welcoming Baphomet. How have you been, Your Majesty? Baphomet asked when she saw her. Baphomet. Lucifer sighs before noticing her pull out her cell phone. Can you shapeshift into a goat for me one time? You can take all of my money. She asked as a goat man opened a briefcase. Lucifer sighs and notices Danny, who was still a goat man himself. Baphomet turned my boyfriend back to normal. She said. Baphomet looks a little upset, but nods. Danny was covered in smoke again and was back to normal. Shame, he looks cute as one, Baphomet said before noticing Jazz. Oh. You got a human girl in the HRM as well? She asked. Actually, that's Jazz. She's my older sister. Danny clears up. I was spending some time with Lucifer before she got Danny's call. Danny, what's going on? Jazz said, then asked him. Well, after convincing the observants that the girls are not going to upset the balance of the world, I was on my way back here when Baphomet pulls up next to me. She was trying to find the apartment where the girls were staying, and I mentioned I was on my way here too. She offers me a ride, and I took notice of a stone on the ground. The next thing I knew, I was a goat. Danny said. Lucifer sighs. Baphomet was one of the few demons that spends a lot of time on earth and hell, but she does have a habit of turning people into goats without their permission. I'm sorry about her. Baphomet does like to turn people into goats without asking them first. Lucifer said. Wow, Your Majesty. I never heard you apologize before. Baphomet said. So, you're demon too, right? Jazz asked. Yes, I am. Baphomet smiles. Where's your tail? Jazz asked again. Oh. Right. I do have one. I just replace it with a goat's tail. Baphomet said, showing her. Lucifer sighs, knowing the day was going to a long one. Later. Lucifer set a plate of pancakes down for Danny and Jazz, wanted them to eat before they head home for the day. Thanks, Lucy, Danny said. You're welcome, Lucifer said, smiling. Both siblings ate as Lucifer walks over to the sink. I see your life has changed a lot since coming here, Baphomet said. Well, I'm on Earth now. As part of our deal, I must treat others like they're people. I can't hurt anyone without Danny's permission. Lucifer said. You really love him, do you, Your Majesty? Baphomet asked. Yes, I do. Though he's the opposite of what I am, I can't find myself disliking that about him. Lucifer said. You even let him call you Lucy. I thought you hated that. Baphomet said. I hate it when Beale calls me that. Danny is different. Lucifer said. Why is Beelzebub here? I thought you banished her into the abyss. Baphomet asked. For some reason, the abyss had grown very weak, allowing Beale to leave freely. She has no idea why and we both are trying to find out. Plus, she's only staying here because Danny promises her that she could stay. Lucifer said. I see, Baphomet said. Baphomet, I'm sure you heard another human that shares the same powers as Danny. Vlad Masters. Lucifer said. I heard of him. Corrupted to the core, he is. Baphomet said, recall meeting the man during his many host parties. Lucifer nods and faces Danny. Vlad is not someone to take lightly. He already pulls of some terrible sins. Even messing with the biggest one of them all. Trying to mess with the creation of life. Lucifer said. What? Baphomet asked, shocked. We did meet one of them, but Danny has told us that she was her own person, and Danny came to see her as family. You might meet her during your stay, and don't turn into a goat. She's still a kid. Lucifer said. Oh, I would never do that. Baphomet smiles. Lucifer rolls her eyes. Still, though, she really did hope that the little girl that Danny came to call her his cousin was doing all right. She had to admit, seeing a girl version of Danny was cute. The next day. Danny yawns as he got out of bed and headed for the shower. He soon cleans up and heads downstairs. Oh. I never heard of humans hunting ghosts before. Danny's eyes widen as he saw Baphomet talking to his parents. Baphomet? What are you doing here? Danny asked the goat demon. I'm just getting to know your family. You have a very nice one. She smiles. So, you got another girl? Nice work, Danny. Jack said, proudly. Dad, it's not like that. Baphomet is a demon, yes, but she has a FTSH for goats. Well, human-like goats. Danny said. I won't deny that your son is handsome in his own right. But he does make for a cute man-goat. Baphomet said. Danny groans before his cell phone buzz. Today was his day off from the girls, and he was going to be with Sam and Tucker. He checks the message and read that they were coming over soon. He looks up at Baphomet and sighs. Might as well have Sam and Tucker meet her. Better make sure that Tuck is aware of what her type is. Danny thought. Baphomet, my friends are coming over, and I would like you to meet them. If that's okay. He said. Oh. Of course. I'll be happy to meet them. She said. Just don't turn them into goats, okay? Danny asked before a knock was heard. Danny answers it and saw his friends. Hey, dude. You ready? Tucker asked. Yeah, just hang on for a sec, Danny said, seeing Baphomet walking up. Hello. Nice to meet you. She said cheerfully. Danny? Who's this? Sam asked. Guys, this is Baphomet. She a demon too, but she has a FTSH for goats. And by that, I mean man-goats. Danny said. Man-goats? Tucker asked. Baphomet smiles and felt Danny glare at her. Baphomet. He shouted as he was turned into a goat man once again. I wasn't lying when I say you make a for cute goat man. Not to mention a black one is very rare. She said, giggling. Danny sighs as Tucker and Sam look confused. After changing Danny back, the four heads out to give Baphomet a tour of the tour. She was now wearing a red t-shirt, that shows some of her melons, and black pants. She replaces her high-leg boot with some heel shoes. Danny also made sure she wouldn't turn anyone else into goats. Things were going fine until someone decides to make themselves known. Out of the way, losers. Danny groans as Dash steps up and pushes them away. Since Baphomet was new, Dash didn't know who she was or what her type was. However, Baphomet did know about Dash and the group called the A-listers. She also heard how they mistreat Danny on a normal basis. Hey there. Are you new in town? Dash said, trying to flirt with her. I am. I'm visiting an old friend of mine. She said, smiling. Really? Well then, how about we head out somewhere together? Dash said. That's kind of you, but I already got 3 tour guilds, Baphomet said, looking at Danny and his friends. Dash looks at them and scoffs. What, Fenton and his freakin' friends? Don't worry about them, he said. Danny rolls his eyes, and gave a nod to Baphomet. Well, if we are going to spend some time together, we need to fix one thing first, she said, smiling. Dash was covered in smoke, and he was soon transformed into a blonde goatman. Dash looked shook to see his new looks as Danny stood up. You really need to pay more attention. Baphomet is a demon like the others. But she has a FTSH for goats. If you want to be with her, then you're going to have to spend your life as Goatman, he said. What? Dash shouted, grabbing Danny. This is your fault, Fenton, he shouted. Danny sighs and pushes Dash off him. Sure, blame me for your mistakes. Do you want to go under the hell punishment again? Danny asked him. Change me back or else. Dash shouted. Baphomet? Can you please? Danny asked her. Sure, he's not my type anyway, she said, changing Dash back to normal. Dash looks ready to hit Danny but was shocked to see him as Mangoat. Danny was about to yell at Baphomet but decided to do something else first. This one is a freebie, he told Baphomet before head-butting Dash in the stomach. Dash tries to get his breath back, but he ends up setting himself up for another one. Danny times it and hits Dash in the ass, sending him flying into a trash can, head first. People close by laugh at him as Danny smiles. Nice dude, Tucker said. Danny smiles before noticing Baphomet leading on him. She had the same lovesick look on her face and sighs. Fine, just this once. And no, you can't see it, Danny said. Wait, you can really fuse with us? Baphomet asked, shocked. I only fuse with Malina, Judgement, Justice, and Azazel. They believe it was because of ghost powers, Danny said. Amazing. I never thought such a thing was possible, Baphomet said. Well, my sister Jazz fused with Strata, and she is more of a mystery than me. She doesn't have any powers, Danny brought up. I see, Baphomet said, thinking. A half-mortal fusing with 3 different demons and an angel? Was there something special about him and his sister? She knew that Malina and Strata could fuse together, and Cerberus could make herself one demon, but her queen's boyfriend and her sister can fuse with her kind. We did see some of them, Tucker spoke up. Really? Baphomet asked. Yeah, Danny's and Malina's fusion is known as the fusion demon, Tucker started. I don't think that was her actual title. She was too shocked to learn that me and Malina call her to get her real title, Danny quickly said. Danny's and Judgment's fusion is known as the kindness demon, Sam said, remembering how that one saves her. The kindness demon? Baphomet shouted. Yeah, Lucifer was really shocked as well, Danny said. That demon was the most dangerous in all of hell. It took both Lucifer and God himself to stop and catch her. How did you two even call her? Baphomet asked, still shocked. Not sure. But we do know that she has turned over a new leaf, Danny said. Well, this next one might not too much of a shock. Danny's and Justice's fusion is known as the hero demon, Tucker said. Baphomet knew of that one. She was one of the first Earth demons, and she protects the humans on the Earth. Many demons started to live on Earth because of her. We don't know about Danny's and Azazel's fusion sadly, Tucker said. From what Lucifer told us, we became the wisdom angel. An old friend of Lucifer's, back when she was an angel, Danny said. What about your sisters? Baphomet asked. Jazz and Strata became the CC demon, Danny said, remembering hearing about her past. We came to believe that Danny can fuse with all the girls. It just has happened very much, Tucker said. Baphomet had to think about that. 5 different fusions between Danny and his sister. 2 mortals, one with the powers of the dead and the other a full human, were able to fusion with her kind. There had to be something about them that allows them to do so. That's all we know about the fusions, sadly, Danny said, breaking her from her thoughts. That is quite a shock, but I having a feeling you really trust the others, Baphomet said. Danny wasn't sure. The observants did bring up that the girls were demons and they were not to be trusted. They even started that Danny did things with them was out of fear than trust. He sighs. He was still scared of them, even after learning how they act as normal people sometimes. Well, except for Azazel. She was an angel and his guardian angel. It was easier to trust an angel than a demon. Danny? Are you okay, dude? Tucker asked, breaking him from his thoughts. Huh? Oh, yeah. I'm fine, Tuck. Danny said, not really wanting to tell them. Due to being a demon herself, Baphomet could sense negativity coming from Danny. From just this short trip, she learns how much of a person Danny truly is. Kind, good-hearted, and someone fun to hang around. And according to Modius, was really great in bed. The fake smile didn't feel right. So, where to next? Danny asked. How about this mall you keep telling me about? Baphomet asked. Amity Park Mall. Baphomet look over the clothes, find some really nice ones. The others just stood by and watch. Baphomet even asks their options on the clothes she got and even comments on Sam's goth clothes. In the end, Baphomet got a lot of clothes and was able to get some of her workers to take them back to her limbo. However, she needed to talk to Danny about what others said about her and the others. She gave both Tucker and Sam some money, saying it was her way of thanking them for a great time. Tucker took it without a second thought and ran for the game store. Sam just rolls her eyes and decides to be a good sport. She took the money and headed for her favorite bookstore. That was nice of you, Danny said. Well, I needed them out of the way for a bit. I need to talk to you. Baphomet said, facing him. Danny, why don't you trust us? She asked. What do you mean? Danny asked, confused. I mean, I heard how you have treated Lucifer and the others like normal people, but you're still scared of them, Baphomet said. What? Who says I'm scared? Danny tries to play off. Danny, I'm a demon. We can sense negativity from others. I know that you're still of us. Baphomet reminds him. Danny sighs as he knew he was caught. Yeah, I'm still scared of the girls. I'm trying to not let it bug me, but when you are hanging around the biggest name in all of hell, and the fact everyone here keeps reminding me that they are demons, really makes it hard for me to not be scared. We are under a deal and there's some things I know the girls can't keep back. I'm trying my best, but, Danny said. Baphomet sighs and places a hand on his shoulder, making him look at her. Danny, I have spoken to the others, and they all said that they enjoy being around you. They each like that you try to be there for them and make them happy. Lucifer said that even though you are the opposite of her, she still likes you for being you. She said she likes how you treat her and the others like people. I even heard how you bring the light out of them. She said. But, Danny said, a little unsure. Listen to me. We don't care if you're immortal. I remember one of the golden rules here on Earth. Treat others the way you want to be treated. I may turn people into goats, but I do get to know them before I do. Most of the time, I do it for fun. But the why my queen and the others speak about you, I can see that you're not the type of guy to let these things get to you. So don't listen to what others said about us. They see us as demons, but you see us as people. Baphomet told him. Wow, for a demon that has a FTSH for goats, that was some really nice advice, Danny said, smiling. I am a demon that spends most of my life on Earth. I do pick up a few things during my stay. Baphomet said, smiling as well. Later. After that talk, Baphomet decides to head to the spa. She started with a massage and did inform the woman she wasn't going to hurt her. She was surprised to feel how different human hands were from goat hands, but the women did make it feel nice. After that, she decides to try out the steam room. On her way there, she ran into someone else. Someone that her queen told her about, Malina. Baphomet heard how she tries to prank her queen by trying to dye her hair, but it backfired on her. She could sense that she was still upset and was trying to think of a way to get back at her again. With a nod, Baphomet walks up to her. "Hello," she said cheerfully. "And who might you be?" Malina asked. "My name is Baphomet. I'm visiting an old friend of mine, and I decide to have a look around town. I decided to try out the spa, and I just had a wonderful massage. I came here to try out this steam room," she said. "Well, the spa is a nice place to relax. I'm Malina," Malina said, smiling. "Nice to meet you," Baphomet said, already sensing that Malina was pretending to be nice. "So, what to try it together? Normally, my friend Star would join me, but she was unable to come. She was sick," Malina said. "Sure," Baphomet said. They entered the room and sat there for a few minutes, letting the steam do its work. Baphomet was used to hotter temperatures due to being a demon, but she could feel her muscles loosen, and some of the stress seems to melt away. And to think all she needed was a towel. "This feels nice," she said. "It is." Malina agrees before smirking. "So, who's your friend? Does she live here?" she asked. "Oh, she moves here after finding a boy she likes. She still does her job but tries to spend time with him. She said it's hard work, but things are coming along," Baphomet said. "I see. He must be one lucky guy if your friend is trying to make as much time as she could," Malina said. Though, the guy did state he was a bit afraid of her. He did get to know her, but he unsure if he really loves her. "I spoke to him earlier and told him not to listen to what others say. If he was serious with her, then he should focus on his relationship with her. I've seen how happy my friend gets when she speaks of him. She likes that he treats her as a person and not some kind of monster. She even said she was planning on marrying him in the future." Baphomet said, twisted her story a bit. "Really? That sounds nice. I'm a little jealous," Malina said. "Oh?" Baphomet asked. "There's a boy I really like. She saved my life a few times, and he's just so handsome. The way his white hair shines and those green glowing eyes, oh, I felt like I'm going to melt when even I see them," Malina said. "White hair, green eyes. You're in love with dannyphantom?" Baphomet asked. "Yes, he's my Carino. Sometimes I dream of him scooping me off my feet and just taking me away from everything. He's so dreamy," Malina said. Now Baphomet knew Malina was outclassed. Baphomet knew that she had no idea the person they were talking about was the same one. Besides, Malina was all about being on the top. She has also ignored the fact she was a demon. Maybe it was time for a little fun. "By the way, Malina. Can I tell you something about me?" she said, making the teen turn to her. "Sure," Malina said, thinking of something that she could use against her. "I'm known to have a FTSH with goats. In other words, I'm known as a furry to some people," Baphomet said. "I heard of those. I can't believe there are people like that. I find it gross," Malina said. "Oh. So you don't want to be a goat?" Baphomet asked, smiling. "A goat? What do you mean?" Malina stops as she felt something brushing against her towel. It felt like fur. Malina looks at her hands and saw they had black fur on them. She reaches up and felt some horns on her head. She then turns and saw a mirror close by. She removed some of the steam and saw her face. Though out the mall, everyone heard something that sounded like a mixture of a scream and goat. Oh. Another black one. And a female this time. Baphomet said, letting her towel drop a bit. You. What did you do to me? Paulina yelled. Oh. Didn't I tell you I had a FTSH for goats? You must have heard my name before. Baphomet said. Paulina was steaming. Baphomet wishes she had her phone, but she was getting a nice view. Oh. But we haven't been on a date yet. She said. Paulina looks down and saw she drop her towel, leaving her naked. Paulina quickly covers herself. As Baphomet walks closer. Oh, and my friend, by the way, is Lucifer. She said, leading on her. A few minutes later. Paulina ran out of the spa, back as her normal self and wearing her clothes. She ran past the trio, not even stopping to make fun of them. What's her hurry? Sam asked. Not sure, Tucker said. Hello, everyone. The three teens turned and saw Baphomet walking up to them, also dressed in her clothes. Baphomet? Did you do something to Paulina? Danny asked. Not really. We sat down and talked. She sounds like a nice person. She said. Sam scoffs at that. But Danny was quick to figure out what she did. You turn her into a goat, did you? He asked. She even wanted to go to the next step. Baphomet said, still smiling. Danny sighs. That explains the scream they heard earlier. He has been thinking about what she told him earlier, and was thinking about telling the other girls his fear. Well, this is a nice town. I think I'll stick around for a while. Baphomet said. Are you sure? The apartment is running out of room. Danny asked. Yes, and I can find my own place to live. And you don't have to visit me all the time. Unless you want to be a goat. She said, smiling. Danny sighs again. He had a feeling that Baphomet was going to be a handful just like the others. Danny rushes to get to class on time. He was woken up earlier thanks to Skulker trying to hunt him again. He was able to catch him and get ready for the day. However, Dash was up to his tricks and stuffed Danny into his locker. After making sure it was clear, Danny phased out and started to run towards his class. Are you sure? Danny stops as he passes the principal office. Yes, I'm well familiar with the ways things are doing to them happening in hell, but I don't like how the A-listers are mistreating my boyfriend. Lucifer. Danny was shocked to hear her, and before he could move, the door opened. And I think he should get a hall pass, Lucifer said, shocking them. Lucifer, what are you doing here? Danny asked. Just making your school change their ideals. As my boyfriend, I want you to live a happy life. Lucifer said. Danny could only sigh. Lucifer then turns back to the principal and smiles. Just be aware, I will come back to see. If you follow my rules. And if I can't make it, then the others will check instead. She said before thinking about something else. You know what, make it for all the students. She said. As you wish, Ms. Devil. The principal said. Lucifer nods, and got up. She walks up to Danny and places a quick kiss on his lips. I'll see you after school. She said before walking out. What do you see in her? The principal asked, giving him a hall pass. Good character. Danny said, unsure. He still needs to talk to Lucifer, but he had to get to class now. Danny rushes towards class, and gave Mr. Lancer the pass. Because it was signed by the principal, he had to let him off this time. Danny sat down in class right on as normal. There was then a teachers' meeting during lunchtime, and Danny sat with his friends. Wait, Lucifer was here? Tucker asked. Yeah, she was making Principal Ishiyama change the ways of the school. At first, it was for me, but she ends up changing for all the students. And I don't know what she did as I was trying to get to class. Danny said. Danny, I'm not trying to be mean, but do you really think that the girls should be coming here? Sam asked, almost feeling the pain in her heart. Sam, even if I could, they probably would still come. I still haven't talked to them yet. Danny said. Sam wanted to say something, but Danny was hit in the back of the head with some mashed potatoes. Danny sighs, and he got up to head to the bathroom. However, he was stopped when a few A-listers stood in front of him. Where do you think you're going, Fenton? Dash said, walking up to him. Give it up, Dash. Just because the girls aren't here doesn't mean I'm going to stand by and let you get away with this. Danny said. Well, too bad, you're long overdue with your daily treatment. Boys. Dash said. Danny looks around, and knew he couldn't get away without using his powers. However, the speakers came on, and everyone stops to listen. Attention, students. After much debating, Casper High has finally decided to set a few new rules. 1. All A-listers actives are cancelled for the rest of the school year. Any student that was given detention because of the A-listers is now free. 2. Any A-listers caught bullying any students will be given detention. No excuses. All students are to report to their teachers about any kind of bullying. And 3. These rules are final. That's all. Everyone looks surprised as Danny now knew what Lucifer did. He turns to Dash and smiles. Well. You can't do anything to me now, Dash. He said. Oh, yeah. Dash said, started to reach for him. Just like I thought. Everyone stops and saw Lucifer walking up to them. Refusing to listen because you think you're better. Really, I've never seen a pathetic mortal like yourself. She said, pushing through the A-listers. What did you say? Dash said, angrily. Watch your tone, Lucifer warns him, making him step back. You do know all I need is a yes from Danny here to put you back under hell's punishment. She said. But, why? I mean, aren't you the devil? A student asked. I am, but I'm under a deal. Besides, I've grown to like this town. Lucifer said, wrapping her arm around Danny. Mayor's office. Vlad sat at his desk, sighing as he was done with Mayor's work for now. He has been trying to find a way to get Lucifer to bow to him, but she was a lot more powerful than he thought. Not to mention the others. He was still confused about how Daniel was able to combine with an angel. And from what he heard, he was able to do the same with the other girls. As much as Vlad wants to go to hell and find a demon to do the same himself, he knew it was pointless. Most demons would likely use him for their own reasons, and some were indeed loyal to Lucifer. He sighs and spotted something on his desk. It was a strange crystal. Vlad picks it up and could feel some kind of powerful energy coming from it. This crystal is very strange. He said, looking over it. Vlad found the crystal short after his return from hell. He had no idea what it was or what it could do. But there was something about it he found interesting. Well, might as pay young Daniel a visit. He said, and turned into his ghost form. Vlad left a message that he was going to be taking the rest of the day off before flying out of his office, not seeing a strange man watching him. Good. The boy is getting closer to unlocking his demon self. Everything is coming together. He said, smirking. After school. Danny walks out as he was able to dodge Dash for the 10th time. Whenever the teachers were looking or when Lucifer went somewhere else, Dash kept chasing after him, blaming him for the new rules. Danny was able to give him a slip a few times, but since school was over, he had to find somewhere else to hide. Fenton. Danny would have used his powers, but he was around other people. He got ready to run but was grabbed by a few of the A-listers. They held him up as Dash walks up. Payback time. He said, pounding his fist. It's not going to work, Dash. I'm not the one who set those rules. Danny told him. Maybe not, but that doesn't mean I can't still PND you. Dash said, getting ready to punch him. However, his arm was grabbed, and he looks behind him to see someone, who was very angry. You have two choices. Let him go, or face the wrath of hell again. Lucifer said. Both the members let go of Danny as Dash backs away. Lucifer steps up and kisses Danny again. She then turns back to the A-listers and said one word. Get. They all ran, not wanting to fight with her. Danny sighs. With Dash and his goons gone, he could now try talking to Lucifer. Is there something wrong? She asked, already sensing something from him. Lucifer, can we talk? Somewhere else? He asked. The devil girl raises an eyebrow but nods. Danny leads her to the park, which was mostly empty right now. Danny took a breath, and faces her. Lucifer, I'm sure you already know, but I'm still scared of you. He said. You are? Why? She asked. Everywhere I go, I hear people talking about you. Saying that you're the devil. And you are not to be trusted. Yeah, I stood up to you a few times, but I can't help but think everyone is right. I'm trying to ignore it, but everyone keeps bringing it up. I think they might try to force you and the girls out of town. Deal or not? Danny said. Lucifer was aware of those things. She could sense it every time she walks past people. She knew Danny was still scared of her, and she was a little afraid as well. Daniel, I understand. She said. Danny was shocked. Lucifer never calls him by his full name. What do you mean? He asked. Even since I've fallen for you, I wanted to be with you. I wanted you to be with me. You're a mortal that I really care about. You have been treating me like a normal girl instead of the devil. Yes, I'm the queen and CEO of hell, but I'm not the devil everyone thinks I am. Deal or not, I have learned a lot since living here. While I can't help but return to some of my old tricks, I actually wanted to make you happy. I care about your happiness, I really do. That's why I'm open to sharing you with the others. That's why I'm not trying to turn Azazel into a demon. I might come off as a heartless bee at times, but when it comes to you I feel nothing but joy. When I gave you your suit, you hugged me. No one would dare get close to me. Let alone touch me. You put up with all of us. I really do love you, Danny. Lucifer said before remembering what she told Jazz. I don't want you going to heaven. I want you to stay with me. I know I'm being selfish, but I really want you to come to hell with me. But, as much as I hate to admit it, I have no right to do that. Many demons are going around saying that you are going to be my king and partner of hell. I want that to happen. But at the same time, I can't bring myself to do it. You mean too much to me. I want you to live your life and go where you please. Maybe come down every once in a while to visit. She said. Danny blinks. Lucifer wants him to be in hell, but she also wants him to live his life and go to heaven. This was nothing like the devil he heard of. Danny looks into her eyes and could see this was no trick. She really wanted him to live his life and go to heaven. Danny sighs and smiles. Lucifer, regardless of what happens, just know this. No matter what, I'll do my best to keep you happy. You are clearly more than the devil. I might have a hard time being around you, but as long as you treat me like a person, as well as everyone else, then I guess I got no reason to be scared of you. Just lay off on the fire and brimstone, will ya? Danny said, smiling. No promises. Lucifer smiles. Danny rolls his eyes and hugs her. Lucifer flinches a bit but returns the hug. They remain there for a few seconds before a voice spoke up. How touching. They both broke the hug and faces Vlad, who was in his ghost form. What do you want now, Plasmius? Danny asked, ready to fight. If you're trying to make me bow to you, then you are more foolishness than you look, Lucifer added. Actually, I have been thinking about something. I came to realize is that trying to trick the devil is not going to work. So, I thought of something better, Vlad said. Lucifer could already sense what he was here for and stood next to Danny. I'm not giving my throne to you, she said. My dear, I wasn't going to ask. I was going to demand your throne, Vlad said, firing an ecto beam at her. Danny quickly puts up a shield and blocks the beam. He quickly turns into his ghost form and slams into Vlad, knocking him away. Lucifer sighs and started to chase after the two half-ghosts. Knowing that Vlad could have some kind of trick up his sleeve, Danny pushes Vlad out of the park before he brought his fist down on the teen's back. Danny crashes into the ground and looks up to see Vlad coming at him. Danny quickly jumps back as Vlad punches the ground. Danny flew up and threw a punch, only for Vlad to grab it and slams him on the ground. However, Danny quickly fires an ectoblast at Vlad's face, knocking him back. Danny stood ready before he was grabbed from behind. He turns to see another Vlad holding him. He was then shocked as another Vlad punches him in the stomach. Danny fell to his knees as two more Vlad steps up. Really, Daniel? We had this song and dance way too many times. When will you learn that you're outclassed? He asked. I don't care what you say. I won't let you rule over the earth, the ghost zone, heaven, or hell, Danny said, looking at him. Besides, you're way too much of a Fruit Loop to rule over anything. He smirks. Vlad growls as he goes to punch Danny again. However, a red beam hit him, knocking him away from Danny. A grown man like you hitting a younger child? I normally wouldn't care, but that is my boyfriend you're hitting. The other Vlads turns and saw Lucifer walking up, a red aura around her. One of the Vlads tries to rush at her, but she smacks it away, causing it to disappear. Another tries to attack from behind her, but she grabs him and threw him headfirst into the ground, also making him disappear. The last two Vlads try to team up on her, but Lucifer was ready. As soon as they were close, she grabs them by the necks and slams their heads together, causing them both to disappear. Danny was surprised, but Lucifer remains calm. She then turns and threw a punch, hitting Vlad right in his cheek, knocking a few teeth out. Vlad was sent flying before crashing into the ground. He pushes himself up and spits up some ectoplasm before wiping his mouth. Well, she's not the queen of hell for nothing. Vlad groans before pulling out the red gem. I guess I might as well use this, he said, holding it close to his body. Lucifer walks over to Danny and helps him to his feet. Thanks, he said. He's powerful, but no match for me, she said before kissing Danny. Suddenly, a powerful energy was felt, and both Danny and Lucifer turned to it. They saw Vlad fly up to them and looks really different. His suit remains the same, but he now had horns and a demon tail. He had claws and shaped teeth. His cape was replaced with wings, and his hair looked like black fire. Both of them looked shocked, but Lucifer senses the power he was using. A demon crystal? She shouted. A what? Danny asked. Vlad roars at them and charges at them. Danny pushes Lucifer away before Vlad punches him into the ground. Danny gasps as his eyes widen from the power Vlad was showing. Vlad grabs him by the head and picks him up. He then punches Danny, setting him fly through the town, shocking many people. Danny crashes into a building and lay there groaning. Vlad was way stronger than before. His body aches just from the punches alone. He was sure Vlad broke all his ribs. He pushes himself up and coughs up some ectoplasm. He pulls himself to his feet and steps outside. He saw Vlad landing on the ground and roars, making the people run. Danny stood ready and flew at Vlad as fast as he could. However, Vlad took to the skies before appearing behind Danny. Danny had no time to move when Vlad grabs the back of his head and slams him into the ground. Vlad then puts his foot on Danny's head and tries to crush it. Danny could only scream as he felt his head get tighten. Vlad smirks before hearing a sonic boom. He looks up to see a fully red demon girl with long white hair flying towards him. Lucifer punches Vlad in the face, sending him flying once more. She then turns to Danny and rolls him over. "Danny! Are you okay?" she said in a demonic voice. "My head felt like it was getting crushed," he said, trying to push through the pain. "You have to get out of here. Vlad is using." She stops before she senses the demonic power heading for her. She picks up Danny, and flew into the air. Vlad just missing them. She holds onto Danny and grows. Knowing he was too injured to fight, Lucifer places him inside a demon barrier she summoned. She turns back to Vlad, and flew right at him. The two superpower demons fought through the town, many people running for their lives. Lucifer lands a punch on Vlad's cheek, who returns with an uppercut to her chin. Lucifer kicks him in the stomach, and Vlad headbutts her. Finally, they grab each other's hands, and started to push each other. Vlad then smirks, catching her off guard. Vlad knees her in the stomach before throwing her away. He flew after her, and lands a punch each time he got close. Vlad then grabs Lucifer's foot, and started to spin her around. He let go, and she was sent flying into the barrier that Danny was in. It was destroyed and both of them landed on the ground. Lucifer got up, and notices she was laying on top of Danny. She got off him and checks on him. "Touching, isn't it?" Lucifer turns and saw Vlad landing on the ground, smirking at her. "To think that I could have sought out this power years ago. A chance to finally show everyone what could happen if they cross me. Not to mention, being on pair with the devil herself." Vlad said. "The demon crystal is not something to be messed with, Vlad. Give it to me, now," Lucifer said. Growling. "My dear, you have no control over me. Say hello to the new ruler of hell." Vlad laughs before thinking. Hell, why not become the rulers of all the places? Like the earth, ghost zone, and even heaven. He said. "Not happening." Lucifer growls, ready to fight him again. "Oh, and why do you care so much about my actions? You're a demon. You're Lucifer. The devil. Why throw your life away for one mere mortal?" Vlad asked. "There's nothing mere about this mortal." Lucifer growls. "He was sent to hell against his will. He's not even signed to go there when his life comes to an end. But he has done what no one has ever done before. He won the heart of the devil. And this devil wants him to grow and live his life. I will always love him." She shouted, her red aura appearing. Danny felt the aura reach out to him and was soon covered in a white one. He found himself floating next to Lucifer, who was shocked to see him. But she reaches over and grabs his hand. Danny smiles at her before Lucifer pulls him into a kiss. Her wings cover them as a bright light covers them, forcing many people to cover their eyes. When it fades, everyone was looking at a new person. It was clearly a girl, but she didn't look anything like a demon. She had long white hair with a black bang hanging in front of her face. Her clothes looked like a suit that Lucifer wears, but white inside of black. She also had two different wings. Her right was a demon's wing, and her left was an angel's wing. Finally, two long devil horns came from her forehead and pointed up to the halo above her. When she opened her eyes, her right eye was blue, and her left eye was red. She looks over her body and flexes her hands. "Interesting," she said, looking at her wings. Vlad was surprised. He had seen Daniel's and that angel girl fusion into another angel, and he heard that he had fusion into other demons with the rest of the girls. The new girl was too busy looking over her body, and Vlad decides to attack while he had the chance. He flew at her at top speed, but suddenly feels something behind him. It's rude to attack someone when they need a minute to understand something. Vlad turns, but was punched in the cheek, sending him flying through the town. The girl looks at her fist, and started to flex her fingers. Very interesting, she said before looking up. She could see many people flinch and started to back away. She looks at the people and could tell they were scared of her. She opens her wings and took into the sky, leaving a crater in the ground. She flew until she was high above the town and saw someone else heading into the sky. She could spot Vlad, who was growling at her, with a huge cut on his cheek. She smirks, causing Vlad to growl even more. He flew at her and landed a punch in her stomach. He started to throw all his punches, leaving the girl no room to block or counter. Vlad threw one more punch and saw the girl back away. Not so tough, are you? Vlad smirks. The girl kept her head down before she started to chuckle. Tough? Oh, Vladdy, you have no idea how strong I really am. What? Vlad asked, shocked. Your punches. They tickle, like a tiny feather. She said, raising her head. Vlad couldn't believe it. He gave her everything he had, but it didn't even faze her. He growls and shot his ecto beams at her. There was an explosion, and Vlad waited. He started to smirks, but it fades when he saw that she was completely unharmed. What? What are you? He asked, his voice full of fear. Me? I'm your worst nightmare. I'm the fusion of dannyphantom and Lucifer. Unlike the others, I'm not a summon. I'm born of two different being untied as one. She said before smirking. I'm neither angel nor demon. I'm a Nephilim. I am angel demon. She shouted, letting a bright aura surround her. Vlad backs away in shock before growling. He threw another punch, but angel demon grabs it. She quickly threw another punch, knocking the breath out of Vlad. She then threw another one, causing Vlad to spit up some blood. She threw one more, and Vlad could feel something trying to come out of his body. Angel demon then threw Vlad towards the ground, making a huge crater. She flew down, and slowly walks up to Vlad, who was climbing out of the crater. Impossible. How is she this strong? He thought. Angel demon kept walking up to him before Vlad turns around and fires at her. Seeing the smoke covering her, Vlad took off into the sky, trying to get away so he could come up with a plan. However, he was shocked to find Angel demon in front of him and clothesline him. She then tosses Vlad towards the ground, making another crater. She lands on top of him, making him spit out the demon crystal, which she grabs. She looks down at the man, that turns back to normal. A black ring appears and turns him back into Vlad Masters. She heard a few gasps, and looks up to see the people looking down at them. She grabs Vlad, and flew out of the crater. She tosses him to the police before pocketing the crystal. She looks around and notices how much of a mess the town was. She raises her hand and snaps her fingers. Suddenly, everything started to repair itself. The craters were filled, and the buildings were fixed up. She gave one last look at the people before opening her wings and flew away. 1 hour later. Angel demon landed at the apartment that the others were, and steps inside. She walks towards the living room, where she saw the girls and Danny's family looking at her in shock. No way, Judgement said, shocked. A Nephilim? Azazel asked, her eyes completely widen. Angel demon smiles before she closes her eyes. She was surrounded in a bright light before it split into two. The two lights fade, showing dannyphantom and Lucifer full healed. Danny steps back as Lucifer shook her head. Ugh, that was not the kind of fusion I was accepting. She said, holding her head. Danny said nothing, only looking at her with wide eyes. Danny? What's wrong? Jazz asked, worried for him. Lucifer, please tell me I didn't read that thought right. He asked, his voice shaking. What thought? Jack asked. Danny just stared at Lucifer, still not believe what he picks up during their fusion. Danny? Maddie asked, confused. Lucifer, why didn't you tell me? He asked, confusing everyone. Tell you what? Beelzebub asked. Danny took a deep breath and said something that shocked everyone. You're PRGNNT. Everyone stared at the two in complete shock. Lucifer was PRGNNT. Lucifer blushes and faces away from everyone. She was hoping to keep this a secret a little longer. But hers and Danny's fusion had him learn it early. How long? Lucifer turns and saw it was Sam that asked that. She took a breath and faces everyone. Back we first meet in hell. Before we came to Earth. She said. That was over a year ago. Danny shouted. I'm a demon. I can hide or delay my PRGNNCY. I wanted to wait until you were old enough before I told you. But I didn't expect our fusion to tell you about it now. Lucifer said. Finally, Maddie snaps out her shock. Wait, Lucifer is PRGNNT with Danny's child? She asked. Danny knew what was coming and prepared himself for what he thought was coming. However, he was slammed against the wall by Sam, who looked madder than he ever saw before. You got one of them PRGNNT. She shouted. Sam was quickly pulled off by Justice and Judgement, having felt her jealousy shoot through the roof. While they were shocked to learn that Lucifer was PRGNNT, they knew it wasn't Danny's fault. Plus, Sam was looking ready to hurt him for something he didn't have control over. After all, they were demons. They do things their way. Danny sighs and turns to his parents. He felt really bad about this and wanted to say something. Mr. and Mrs. Fentons, before you get mad, just remember this. I'm the devil. I said this happened back when we meet in hell. Our deal only works on Earth. I wanted to hold off until Danny was at a reasonable age, but our fusion forces him to find out early. Lucifer spoke up. But, Maddie started. Why did you force him? Sam yells. Justice sighs and took off her band. She quickly covers Sam's mouth with it, and Judgment shook her head. You have already overcome the pain punishment. Do not make me put it back on you. Lucifer said, not wanting to deal with her right now. Lucifer, Danny said, causing the female devil to sigh. I have every plan of telling you. However, I wanted to wait. As a demon, I can keep my child unborn until the father feels ready. And truthfully, you are the first person I ever had a child with. She said. Danny sighs. He really had no idea about this. Impregnated the devil was something he didn't think was possible. And now he was going to be a teenage father to a demon child. How long will it take? Danny asked. I'm already past the due date. Our child would have been born after Christmas. But now, it will be born at the end of the week. Lucifer said. End of the week? Danny asked, shocked. Maddie then remembers something from her PRGNNCY with both Jazz and Danny. Lucifer, will you act any differently during the week? She asked. What do you mean? Lucifer asked. During my PRGNNCY with both my kids I was much different. I would crave some food a lot and even eat things I wouldn't before. And then there are the mood swings. Maddie told her. How can I forget that? Jack groans, remembering those days. Mood swings? Modius asked. Basically, it means that your emotions will change on a dime. 1 second, you'll be all happy, and the next, you'll be angry for no reason. Maddie said, making Lucifer think. This was the first time in her life that she ever became PRGNNT. And because she was a demon, there was a good chance she might get mood swings, which will cause her to hurt Danny, maybe even kill him if she loses control. Very well, until the end of the week, I need Danny to stay away from me. Justice, Beale, I need you two to make sure I don't go after him for any reason. She said. You're asking me to keep away a guy we both like from you. You do know that you're setting him up with me. Beelzebub tease. Beel. Lucifer said, seriously. I'm kidding, mostly. She said. Lucifer sighs and faces Danny. She can tell he was very unsure, but she still smiled at him. Hey, I think you can be a great father. She said. Day 1. Danny made it to the apartment and was greeted by Cerberus once again. It's a bit unfair. They said. What do you mean? Danny asked. You gave Lucifer a puppy. And you kept refusing us. They whine. Cerberus, I didn't even know. I mean, since it is my child, I'll take care of it. But I was hoping to be a father after I finish high school. Danny said. Oh. Well, Pandemonica is waiting for you. They said, walking away with their ears low. Danny sighs and heads towards Pandemonica's room. He knocks and saw her opening the door. Hey, did you get your coffee? He asked. Lucifer brought it for me. You get a pass this week. She said, letting him step in. Pan, have you ever thought about being a mother? Danny asked her. Not really. With how busy I am in hell, starting a family is something that never crosses my mind. She said, opening her bedroom door. Danny sighs and enters it. Already knowing that she was going to let him sleep on her bed. It was something they would do even if Danny got some rest. However, he was shocked when Pandemonica pushes him onto the bed and lay next to him. Pandemonica. You better not be making out with Danny. Danny blinks as Pandemonica rolled her eyes. Her senses are a lot strong due to your child. It will fade once she gives BRTH. She said. Danny decides to relax and closes his eyes, ignoring the cries of his PRGN girlfriend. Day 2. Danny sat with Malina and Zdrada, sighing as Zdrada was smirking and Malina was blushing and growling. Come on, Malinka. You can't tell me you have thought of having a child of your own. Zdrada asked, smirking. Shut the F up. Malina said, her face fully red. Zdrada, please. I'm not going to make any more of you PRGN. I'm just glad that none of the others are. Danny said. Ah, I wanted to meet my new niece or nephew, Zdrada smirks. Then how about you get PRGN then? That way you can have a child. Malina said, surprising her sister. Me? A mom? Don't make me laugh, Malinka. Zdrada said, laughing. I don't know, Zdrada. I don't doubt that Malina can't be a mother, but you have taken care of Malina when you two were little, right? Danny asked. Yes, Zdrada said, taking a puff of her cig. Then you're already a mother, Danny smirks, shocking her. Malina saw Danny wink at her and smirks. He was letting out his prankster side, and she loves that. She then fell to her knees and started fake crying. Mama. I'm hungry. I want something to drink. A bully stole my lunch money. She said. Malinka, I'm not going to fall for that, Zdrada said, looking away from her. Zdrada. How dare you make her cry? I thought you were better than that. Danny scorned her before hugging Malina. There, Mama is a big meanie, Danny said as Malina smirks. She won't even play with me. Malina fakes whine. Then let make her a baby, Danny smirks. Yeah. I'll get the diapers. Malina said. I'll get the diapers. You get the baby bottle. Danny said. Okay, really funny, you too. Zdrada shaking her head. Do you have any baby clothes? Danny asked, getting up. I might have some in the closet. She said, opening it. Stop it, you too, Zdrada said, but they didn't listen. Hey. I found a cute shirt. Malina said, holding up a small shirt with a heart on it. Nice. Just her size too. Danny smiles. I'm serious. Stop it. Strata said, getting a little worried. Okay, I found a bottle. We just need the milk. Danny said. I got that cover. Malina said, taking it from him. Guys. Enough. Strata shouted, but flinched when she saw both of them smirking evilly at her. Sound like someone needs a timeout, Danny said. And a diaper change, Malina added. Strata tries to talk them out of it, but she had left her knife in her room, and she couldn't fight off both of them. Day 3. Danny sighs as Modius pokes her belly. She recalls Danny's question about getting PRGN during their first time, and she was curious why she wasn't. She had SEC several times, but she never got PRGN. Modius, stop. I don't know how it works, but poking your belly is not going to give you a child. Danny said. Lewd. She whispers, making him groan. Don't ask. He quickly told her. A child. A parent love. I never had that before. Modius said. Danny was shocked, but he then remembers that some demons might not have families. He turns and saw Azazel writing in her notepad. Azazel? What are you doing? Danny asked. To think that a human could get a demon PRGN. This is an amazing find. She said, making Danny facepalm. Girls, please. I already have lots of trouble with my parents breathing down my neck about making a girl PRGN. I don't want them to get on the case of making all 10 of you PRGN. Danny said. Would we have a boy or a girl? Modius said, not hearing Danny. Well, I'm an angel. I don't think we'll get that far. Azazel said. That's good to hear, Danny said. He was then pulled off the couch and was starting to be dragged by Modius. Modius, where are we going? Danny asked. To make a baby. She said. What? Danny shouted. He avoided Modius for the rest of the week after that. Day 4. Danny blinks as he saw that Lucifer's room was chained and boarded up by Justice and Judgement. She was started to show signs of a mood swing, and they had to lock her in her room. That bad? He asked them. Threatened to rip our throats out if we don't tell her where you were. Judgement said. But I was in the living room. He said. I guess this is what your mother was worried about. At least Lucy is being held, for now. Justice said. Well, I did get Azazel to ask her father to keep Lucifer under control the best he could, Danny said. Danny? Is that you? Can you please come in? Danny sighs. He really didn't want to do this. I'm sorry, Lucifer, but I can't. He said. I said come in. Danny jumps as the door was bang on. Will that hold? He asked the two. As long as we want it to. Judgement said. Day 5. Beelzebub decides to take Danny out of the house, and away from the PRGN and Lucifer, who was showing signs of the baby getting bigger. It was a rough week for Danny. The first half was okay. Lucifer stays away from Danny, and she was fine. But it started to get worse when she started to get her mood swings. Today was no different. Beelzebub had taken Danny away from the house as the girls were fighting tooth and nail to calm Lucifer down. So, where to, Beel? Danny asked, taking to take his mind off the fighting he heard. I was thinking about something, and I decided that some time away from the apartment would be nice. She said. If you say so, Danny said. Beelzebub held his hand, trying to make him feel safe. She has yet to tell Danny the truth, but he was more worried about Lucifer, and she didn't want to add anything else. Danny, if you want, I can have you hide in the abyss until Lucifer gives BRTH. She said. Thanks for the offer, but I'll pass. He said. Well, since Lucifer has a child, then I guess that means one thing, Beelzebub said, confusing Danny. What? He asked. You have to give me a child. Beelzebub said, laughing at his shocked face. I'm kidding. I would never do that to a gentleman like you, she said before putting her head on his shoulder. Danny, know this. Even if you get the other girl's virginity, it won't because we force you. If we start a family, it will be out of love. No matter what. Beelzebub said. Sure. Danny nodded. Day 6. Oh my gosh. My queen, you really are virginity. Baphomet said, looking at Lucifer's belly. Been that way for over a year. I meant to have my baby after Christmas, but it looks like it coming before Halloween. Lucifer said. Her mood swings had calmed down, and she could feel her baby kick at times. She was also worried about Danny, but she had one more day before she would give birth and have him be near her again. Do you know if it's a boy or girl? Baphomet asked. No. But, Lucifer started to say. What? Baphomet asked. Normally she would share her thoughts with Justice about her worries, but the girl had dropped her off at Baphomet's place, saying they're still recovering from her attacks. I'm scared, she said, surprising Baphomet. What? Why? She asked. I don't know how to be a mother. If we were still in hell, then I wouldn't have to worry about it. My servants would watch over my child as I rule hell. But I don't know if I could raise my child by myself. Lucifer said. My queen, you're not alone. From what I heard, Danny is questioning himself as well. He plans to become a father but at a later day. And now he's having one with the most powerful being in hell. He also worries how his child will turn out, she said. Lucifer was surprised to hear that. Danny was also questioning himself. She felt a kick and patting her belly. I guess it can't wait to see mommy and daddy. Baphomet laughs. Day 7. This was it. Today was the day that Lucifer would give birth. Justice had taken her to hell as it was the safest place for everyone. Danny faces his family, who came with him to make sure their newest family member would be okay. Jazz places a hand on her brother's shoulder, making him look at her. Look, Danny. Regardless of what happens, just remember that we are here for you, she said. Danny smiles before a tower of flame appear. Justice walks up, her clothes torn and bleeding in a few places. Justice? Danny asked, worried. I'm fine. This isn't my BLD, she said, smiling. Everyone turns as they saw Lucifer walking up, holding a warp blanket in her arms. I think I'll hold off on having any more child for the next 100 years, she said, smiling. Lucifer? Danny asked. I'm fine, she said before handing Danny their child. Danny held his daughter as he could see that she had white hair, with black tips. She yawns and opens her eyes, showing they were blue. The little devil reaches for him with her tiny arms, and Danny lets her touch his face. Danny had to smile. Was this how his father felt when Jazz was born? Jazz looks over and saw the little demon looked at her. She laughs as Jazz coos. She's so pretty, she said. Danny then hands his daughter to Jazz, who started to feel her face, only to grab her hair next. Ow! Jazz said as she pulls her hair away. Well, she got a grip. Danny chuckles. Beelzebub smiles as she started to think to herself. Justice pats Lucifer on the back and smiles at her. Jazz hands the baby to her mother. Maddie smiles at her new granddaughter as Jack stood close. The baby demon smiles at her human grandparents, who smile back. Well, I guess this is fine, Jack asked. What's her name? Maddie asked. I haven't come up with one yet, Lucifer said. Danny blinks before he was handed back his daughter. That's when he notices something else. Where are her horns? Danny asked. Ah. Newborn demons are born with small bumps that grow into horns. It will take a few years for them to grow their full size. Even longer for them to turn white. Lucifer said. Danny moves his daughter's hair and saw the bumps. He begins to think before an idea crosses his mind. Lilith. He said, surprising everyone. Lilith? Lucifer asked. It was the first thing that pops into my mind, Danny said. Lucifer smiles and took her daughter. Do you like that name, Lilith? She asked, getting a laugh in return. I'll take that as a yes. Lucifer smiles. The next day. Danny was sitting in class, trying not to fall asleep. Mr. Lancer was dragging the lesson again, and he spent most of the night playing with his newborn daughter. Danny couldn't stop a yawn, and both his friends notice. Sam was still upset that Danny had a child with Lucifer, and Tucker guesses that Danny was getting used to being a teenage father. Danny felt something tug his pants leg and looks down. Not now, Lilith. He said before his eyes widen. Lilith? He said, making people turn to him. Mr. Fenton? Mr. Lancer asked, a bit upset. Sorry, Mr. Lancer, but I really need to call Lucifer, Danny said, taking out his phone. What for? Mr. Lancer asked before seeing the baby. Mr. Fenton, did you bring a baby to school? He asked. Ha. Looks like Fenton is a big baby by bringing one. Dash laughs. Lilith turns to Dash, and blew out a tiny fireball that burns Dash's shoes. Ow. He shouted, trying to put the fire out. She's no normal baby, Dash. She's part demon. Tucker said. Part demon? Mr. Lancer asked. She's Lucifer's child, Danny said, shocking his classmates. What? Dash shouted. How can a tramp like her have a monster like that? Paulina asked. Lilith turns to her and lets out a growl. Paulina flinches as Danny picks her up. Lucifer might be the devil, but she is a person. Did you forget that she used to be an angel? Danny asked. How did she get here? Sam asked. Well, since Lilith is part demon, I think she might have learned to teleport. Lucifer did tell me that some newborn has access to some of their powers. Danny said. And bring a demon, she's will get into trouble a lot. Everyone turns and saw Lucifer stepping into the room. Danny hands Lilith to Lucifer, who sighs. I was wondering where you went. You scare me, Lilith. She said as her daughter giggles. Lucifer shakes her head as Danny smiles. I guess she came to me because she misses me. Only a day old and she already knows how to teleport. Danny said. Really? Did you miss Daddy, Lilith? Lucifer asked, shocking the whole room. Daddy? Everyone, minus Tucker and Sam, shouted. Danny sighs. Not everyone knew that he was the father of Lucifer's child. Yes, Lilith is also part human. I had no idea Lucifer was PRGNet until last week. Danny said. And remember, I'm the devil. I can do things my way. Lucifer reminds them. Lilith laughs as Lucifer shook her head. I'm going to take her back home. And I try to get her to understand that you're coming over after school. She said. I'll keep an eye out for her if she pops up again, Danny said. Lucifer nods and soon leaves the school. Danny knew it would be a matter before everyone finds out about Lilith and who her parents were. Lucifer, wait. He shouted, making the she-devil turn to him. There's a good chance Vlad might come after Lilith. We might have exposed him, but I know Vlad. He will try to get back at us. Danny called out. Humph. He can try. Lucifer said. Later. Danny enters the apartment and saw Cerberus sitting around Lilith, each of them acting all giggly with her. Cerberus. Are you being careful with her? Danny asked. Yes, Mr. Danny. One said. She's still a puppy. The second added. She's so cute. The third sequel. Danny sighs. He notices Justice walking up to him and patted his shoulder. It's only been a day, and your daughter is already the talk of the town. She said. She visits me at school today. I had to tell them about Lilith. Danny said. Really? I bet everyone is shocked. Justice said. I got a lot of glares from the A-listers. I guess they can't believe I would have a child. Danny said. Heh, don't mind them. Heck, you could have a child with all 10 of us and it wouldn't matter. Justice said. You're not asking me to, Danny started to ask. Nah. Lucy might have a child, but I'm in no rush to be a mother myself. Maybe one day, but we already have a lot of demons in the house. Justice said. Danny sighs. He was glad that some of the girls understood that he was caught off guard last time and needed time before he even thought about having another one. Modius, on the other hand, was going to take some time before she could understand. She kept trying to drag him in bed to give her a child. Luckily, Danny remembers her weak spot, her tail. Well, since it's my turn. What do you want to do? Justice asked. Before Danny could answer, he felt something tug his pants leg and looked down to see Lilith. Danny shook his head, and picks her up. Well, I guess Lilith wants to hang out with us now. Sorry, Cerberus. He said. It's fine. They said. Justice could only laugh as she tickles the baby demon. Danny lays Lilith in her playpen as she fell asleep. He knows that Lilith was more than a part demon and part human child. She was also a part ghost and a tiny bit of an angel. He sat down and sighs. Being a father was tough. But this is something he has to deal with for the rest of his life. He turns and saw Azazel sitting next to him, writing in her notepad. Taking notes on how to be a mother. Danny teased. Azazel blushes and turns from him. No, I'm just studying how a demon child acts. She said. Calm down, Azazel. I'm joking. Danny said. Azazel looks down, and thought about Danny's words. Could she be a mother? She shook her head. Danny was too young, plus she was very unsure about doing that with him. She wasn't like the others. She loves Danny, but she would never do something like that against his will. Azazel, are you okay? Danny asked. Why yes. She said before sighing. Daniel, do you think I can be a good mother? She asked him. What do you mean? Danny asked. Well, you know how I was treated in heaven. I'm a little worried that I might not be a good mother to my child. Azazel said. Azazel, I might not know how heaven works, but remember this. If you do have a child, then raise it your way. No one can tell you how to raise it. Danny said. But what if, she started to ask. Azazel, being a father is a life changer. I have a child to worry about now. I need to make sure she grows up with happiness in her life. Yes, it's going to be hard, but that doesn't mean I'm going to raise her differently. Lilith is my daughter, and I need to be there for her. Danny said. Azazel blinks. Danny had only been a father for a day, but it seems he understood he has to do what he could for Lilith. She looks at the sleeping baby and smiles. Okay. If I ever have a child, I'll raise it my way. I'm sure my father will understand. She said. If there's one thing I know about him, it's that he loves everyone no matter who we are, Danny said. Azazel smiles and kisses Danny's cheek. Danny blinks and looks at his sleeping daughter. This was a whole new level for him, but he wasn't going to back away. He was going to do his best and raise his daughter to be the girl she wants to be. Beelzebub sat in her room, thinking about Lucy's new daughter. She didn't think that Lucifer could have a child. Back when they first meet, Lucifer only cared about ruling over hell and messing with mortals. While she never cared about the mortals herself, she saw Lucifer as a threat and wanted to remove her. And now here they are, living under the same roof and sharing a mortal they both love. Beelzebub sighs. Even after all this time, Lucifer was still one-upper her. But, she wasn't going to follow Lucifer's path. She knew that Danny wasn't ready to father another child anytime soon. Still, she did wonder what her child would look like. I really hope it doesn't come out as a monstrous fly, she said out loud. She shook her head. This body was far different than her real one. Beelzebub has been around Lilith a bit. The baby demon was more curious about her than scared. Maybe it had to do with never hearing about her before. Still, she could sense Lilith's power. It was far stronger than hers, even more than Lucifer's. If Lilith even found out how powerful she truly was, it could be bad. And not the good kind of bad. Still, she knew Danny would never let her daughter fall down a dark path. After all, he was avoiding himself. Still, I think it's better to be prepared for anything, she said. Beelzebub looks over at Lucifer, who was brstfdng her daughter. She was still worried about the power Lilith has and how it could lead her down a dark path worse than her parents. Lucifer felt her daughter pull away and recover her BRST. She places Lilith on her shoulder, and patted her back. She soon heard a burp and smiles. Good girl, she said, rubbing their noses together. Wow, she's only 5 days old, and you're already an amazing mother. Beelzebub smiles. Lucifer rolls her eyes, and held her daughter in the air before making silly faces at her, causing Lilith to laugh. Lucy, I have to ask, is she going to take your place as the ruler of hell? Beelzebub asked. Maybe, Lucifer said as she tickled Lilith with her tail. Beelzebub shook her head. She knew that Lucifer had also sensed Lilith's power. But Lucifer was too proud to admit that someone was stronger than her. Lucy, I know you can sense your daughter's power. She's far stronger than me and you. And she has Danny's powers as well, Beelzebub told her. That's my girl. Lucifer smirks. Beelzebub sighs. She knew this was just like Lucifer. Still, she was very much aware that Danny will be more understandable. Lucky, she already has everything planned out. Later. Danny held out a toy bear with devil horns to his daughter, pretending to attack her. Lilith laughs every time she was attacked by the bear. Danny smiles, glad to have some fun with his daughter. However, it appears that Sam was still upset with him. Danny had no idea that he got the devil herself PRGN. How could he? Lucifer kept it from him. Still, he wasn't going to treat Lilith any different because she was part demon. Beelzebub walks in and smiles. Her turn was coming up, and she had everything ready. Danny, I'm ready, she said, making him look up. Okay, he said before turning to Lilith. Daddy's is going to be with Aunt Beel. He'll be back later, okay? He said, giving the bear to Lilith. Lilith looks a little sad, but Danny kisses her head. Remember, Daddy loves you, he said, standing up. Lucifer. I'm hanging with Beel now, Danny called out. I'll get Cerberus to watch her. Make sure they're careful around her, Danny said before turning to Beelzebub. Let's go, he said. Beelzebub nods, and she took Danny out of the apartment and towards the park. Danny blinks as Beelzebub stops near a tree and smiles. Perfect. And now to get everything ready, she said before a portal to the abyss opens. Danny watches as Beelzebub pulls out a blanket and lays on the ground. She then pulls out a basket and 2 glass cups. She sent them down, and closes the portal. Beel? Danny asked, confused. Please, sit, I made this for you, she said, taking off her jacket. Danny sat down and saw Beelzebub pull out a glass of wine. Whoops. This is for me, she said before pulling out a bottle of soda. Here you are, Beelzebub said, pouring it into one of the cups. Beel. Danny said, taking it. Beelzebub pulls out some plates and the food. She was about to unwrap it before Danny stops her. Beel, what's going on? He asked. Oh, I look up picnics ever since you told me about them. I've been wanting to try this out for some time, she said, but Danny could sense something was bugging her. Beel, what's wrong? I might have known you less than the others, but even I can tell something is on your mind. Danny asked. Beelzebub sighs and looks at Danny. Danny, I can sense the powers of others. In your human form right now, you stand no chance against the weakest demon in hell. Your ghost powers make you as strong as Judgement. Both me and Lucifer are strong than you, and it wouldn't take us a lot to take you down, Beelzebub said. Danny knew that. After all, both Beel's and Lucifer's horns were white. That means they are very powerful. But? Danny asked. Beelzebub sighs. I sense your daughter's power as well. She might be young now, but her power surpasses both mine and her mother's. Back in the abyss, I used my power to make you tell me everything about yourself. That even met your future, she said. Danny's eyes widen. His future? Which one? Danny asked, scared of the answer. The one where you become evil, Beelzebub said. Danny looks away. If he was being honest, he wanted to forget that future. He was lucky that he was locked up and kept under the watch of clockwork. He still hasn't told the others about it, and Judgement agrees to let him tell them in his time. Now Beelzebub knows. Danny, because of the power your daughter holds, I fear she might travel down the wrong path. I know Lucy senses it too, but she's too proud to admit if someone is stronger than her, Beelzebub said. Danny blinks. Lilith is more powerful than Lucifer and Beelzebub. He wouldn't deny if he fought both Lucifer and Beelzebub at the same time, he would barely survive them both. And hearing that Beel fears that Lilith could travel down the wrong path could be bad for everyone made him worry. He was able to avoid it, but could the same be said about Lilith? Look, Danny. I'm sorry about bringing it up. I know it's part of Lilith's demon nature that she'll be a handful as she grows older. I just wanted you to be aware of your daughter's power, Beelzebub said. Danny sighs. Beelzebub really doesn't act like a demon most of the time. Sometimes she tells him his worries, and he does his best to help her. He reaches over and places his hand on his shoulder. I'm glad you told me, Beel. If you didn't, I probably wouldn't have noticed until it was too late. I know Lucifer is worried about that too, even if she doesn't show it. I do want Lilith to grow up to be the person she wants to be, but I also don't want her to ignore her human side, Danny said. Beelzebub smiles before pulling out 2 sandwiches. A BLT for Danny and a peanut butter and chocolate for her. Danny blinks at Beelzebub's sandwich, which she smiles at. I'm like the others in one regard. I do love chocolate and other sugar things, she said. Normally, I would say that eating too much chocolate is bad for you, but I'm talking to a demon, Danny said, taking his BLT. Beelzebub looks down. She still hasn't told Danny the truth. Maybe she should. Let Danny know what she truly is. Danny, can I tell something else? She asked. Danny nods as he took a bite of his sandwich. Look at what we got here. Beelzebub groans as she saw Malina walking up to them. Even Danny sighs at his former crush. What do you want, Malina? Danny asked. Tell me, did you prepare this little get-together? Or did another one of those tramps trying to make you father to their children? Malina asked. Lucifer came off as a surprise. 2. The rest of the girls plan on waiting before they become mothers. And 3. Beale is the one that prepares this picnic. Danny said. And we are about to enjoy it before you walk up, Beelzebub said, tucking a napkin in her shirt. Please, I've seen better, Paulina said. It's a picnic, not a tea party, Beale said, eating her sandwich. What is that? Paulina asked, pointing at her sandwich. Peanut butter and chocolate. Try some. Beelzebub said, no, Paulina wouldn't like it. Gross. She said. Danny rolls his eyes as he grabs his soda. Hey. Danny said, seeing Dash snatch it from him. Beelzebub narrows her eye as Dash drinks it. That was good. What flavor is it? Dash smirks. Bug juice, made it myself, Beelzebub said, winking at Danny. Bug juice? Dash said, looking sick. He snatches Danny's sandwich and means to get the taste he thought he had out of his mouth. Beelzebub snaps her fingers, and the sandwich fades into a purple wisp. Dash bit down on nothing and was shocked to see that sandwich was gone. I'm giving you both a warning. Leave us alone or you will discover why I like flies. She said. And just who are you? Paulina asked, not liking her tone. Me? I'm Beelzebub, the great fly, the sovereign of pestilence, the warden of decay, the queen. Crimson, the mistress of the flies, and rival to Lucifer. Also, one of Danny's new girlfriends. She said. Wow, I didn't know you had that many titles, Danny said. Beelzebub shrugs as Dash and Paulina look at her, shocked. The mistress of flies? Paulina asked. Look up my name. You'll find out the truth. Beelzebub said before pulling out another BTL. She hands it to Danny and repowers his cup. Thank you, Danny said, holding up his glass. Dash looks ready to grab Danny, but Beelzebub snaps her fingers again. Everyone heard a loud buzzing sound as Beelzebub smiles. My little friends are on their way. You better run. She said. Dash and Paulina turned and saw a huge amount of flies heading for them. They both ran, with the flies chasing after them. Beelzebub smiles as Danny shook his head. So, what were you going to tell me? Danny asked. Beelzebub thought about it and sighs. I'll tell you later. Let's enjoy our picnic for now. She said. Danny was confused, but he shrugs, and went back to eating. His mind thinking about what Beelzebub told him about Lilith. He had to talk to Lucifer about this. Later. Lucifer lay Lilith in her playpen, who was sound asleep. She smiles at her as Danny stood next to her. They then quietly exit the room and enters Lucifer's. So, what do you want to talk about? She asked. Lucifer, Beale told me about Lilith's power. How it's stronger than yours and hers. Danny said. So. That means Lilith is not someone to mess with. Lucifer said. Lucifer, if Lilith even learns how to use her powers the wrong way, she can easily beat you. I was told you're too proud to admit if someone is stronger than you. But you need to stop ignoring the facts. Danny told her. Danny, it's fine. Lilith is part demon. She mostly going to play some tricks on the mortals, she started to say. What if she falls down a path I nearly avoid myself? Danny asked. What do you mean? Lucifer asked. Danny sighs and looks away. It always brings up bad memories whenever he talks about it. Judgement and Beale already know about this, but this happened back before I was sent to hell, Danny said, sighing. It started with the Career Aptitude Test or CAT for short. My sister has the highest grades out of the school, and Mr. Lancer started that people who fail the test were doomed to work at the Nasty Burger. Not wanting to fail myself, I try to study, but with all the ghosts attacking the town, it was hard. But things got weirder. I started to get attacked by ghosts I had never seen before. The first was Box Lunch, the daughter of the box ghost and the lunch lady. He started before seeing Lucifer's face. I know. But she proves to be just as strong and annoying as her parents. To make a long story short, I somehow got the answers to the test. And I was thinking about cheating. I know you would have approved of that, but that when I learned the truth. Danny said, sighing. Truth? Lucifer asked. It's not something I want to remember, so I'm going to skip to the end. I learned by cheating I lost something far worse than a good future. I lost my family and friends. Everyone I care about was killed in an explosion. Alone and nowhere to go, I move in with Vlad, the only person to understand my pain. That was one of the biggest mistakes of my life. I never recover from the pain. Then, one day, I asked Vlad to remove my humanity. Danny said, shocking Lucifer. Hold up. Your humanity. The thing that makes you, you. Lucifer almost shouted. Yeah, and Vlad grant my wish. However, it wasn't my humanity he removed. It was my ghost half. I learned that it was dealing with the pain worse than me. It spits Vlad's half and tries to destroy Vlad's ghost half. Sadly, that became the biggest mistake in my life. It turns out Vlad's ghost half had too much evil inside it, and it overtook my ghost half. Changing him into someone that I promised never to become. Someone that destroyed most of the planet and left it in ruins. No one was able to stop him. He was too strong. Danny said. What about you? If there's anyone that knows how to deal with your powers, it's you. Lucifer asked. Danny looks down. He still remembers what future Vlad told him, even if he didn't give the words. Lucifer, I couldn't. I was his first victim. Danny said, sadly. Lucifer's eyes widen in shock. He was killed, by his ghost half. After learning the truth and stopping him from trying to make the future mine, I did the right thing. I return the answers and admit I look at the answers. However, I still have nightmares about it. Nightmares about turning into him. He was bad enough, but if Lilith becomes like him or even worse, do you think we could even stop our own daughter? Danny said, trying very hard not to cry. Lucifer looks away. A future where Danny lost everyone he cared about. Becoming the being that would destroy the world. And he fears that their daughter would fall down the same line. Normally, she would all for it, but hearing what happened to Danny, the one mortal she truly cares about, was not something she wanted. She stood up, and hugs him. It's okay, let it out. She said before hearing Danny sniffing. Danny's right. We can't let Lilith fall down the path he almost did. I need to stop being so proud of my own strength and make sure Lilith grows up normally. She thought. So alright folks, that's all for today. Stay tuned for part 8. Do subscribe, like and share for more such videos. Also check out the story and Phantom Fan 21 on FANFICTIONnet. Press the bell icon to be notified first on release. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.